Today may be a slightly controversial video, even though I don't understand why it's controversial, which is why I'm making the video. Um, but it's going to be going over the 48 Laws of Power. This isn't necessarily a review for the 48 Laws of Power. This is me explaining why I don't understand the controversy of this book and why I believe it's one of the most misunderstood self-help books out there. This book is demonized. Whenever I see clickbait, or not clickbait, but just like the thumbnails of YouTube videos, like avoid these books, read these books, or don't read this book, or people hating on it because it's evil or teaches people to manipulate. It's always the 48 Laws of Power. It's so demonized. Everyone tells you to stay away from it, and I think they are completely wrong. The 48 Laws of Power, yes. It could be used by someone with malicious intent to manipulate people. However, that's not why Robert Greene wrote this book. And if you understand the author, Robert Greene, and you read his other books, and you listen to him talk, you'll immediately understand that this isn't a bad guy. So, understanding that the author made this book with good intent helps, understand that this book isn't bad in itself. This book can be used by everybody to protect themselves. That's why this book was written, I believe. And that's what this book is used for by most people. You understand manipulation and you learn how to manipulate people in this book, but that isn't so that you can go and manipulate people and use it for malicious intent. It's so you can understand and see when it's happening to you or see when it's happening to other people. I cannot count how many times. It's been a while since I've gone through this book completely, but this is the first self-help book I went through, and it completely opened my eyes. I cannot count how many times I was reading this book and I went, holy crap, this has been done to me before. Or I think of one of my friends doing it to me, or some stranger I met, or some coworker doing one of these things to me. It opens you up to the world that is real, to the world that you cannot deny, even if you want to. So many people try and pretend like an evil world where people are manipulating and they're doing whatever they can to climb the social ladder and earn respect for themselves and seem cooler than they actually are. That world is real and it's out there. And there's a lot of people who try and deny that and think people are good-hearted. Most people are, but everyone has their own motives, their own motivations for getting stuff done. And a lot of times they have to go through other people to get those things done. And this book exposes them. It exposes all of it. It brings light to all the manipulation and deception in this world. And it does that for you. An analogy I would like to use is, I know a lot of people won't like this either, but if you have bad guys with guns and civilians without guns, then the bad guys are always going to have the power because they have the guns. They're always going to be able to make people do what they want to do because they have the guns. But if you give a gun to everybody, if you have everybody read this book, then if a bad guy walks into a room and starts shooting people, he's not going to get very far before everybody else lays, lead into him because everybody has a gun. Same thing with this book. If everybody's read this book, then if somebody goes around and starts manipulating you through one of the tactics in this book, this book pretty much covers all of it, then everyone's going to see right through it, and that person's not going to get very far. And for you personally, do not avoid this book. Read it. Because there are people out there who are going to use these tactics on you. It's just the unfortunate reality. People are going to use these tactics on you, and you can use these laws to defend yourself. That is why this book was written, so that you can defend yourself. You can defend yourself against people who are trying to get their way with you through all sorts of tactics. And I'm sure, I had multiple friends, or at least one that I can think of. I'm not going to say their name, but he used so many of these tactics, whether it was unconscious or conscious. He used these all throughout grade school, all throughout high school, and it worked. And I never saw through it. I was never able to tell. And once I read this book, him and everybody else in my life who would ever use these on me or someone I know were exposed, were brought to light. I see through it all now. And everybody else who reads this book sees through it all as well. And that is so powerful. Just such a positive defense against the manipulation out there. So for people who say this book is useless, who say people shouldn't read this, I would love to hear an argument, like genuinely, like, and not in like a conflicting way or a combative way. Please, if you can argue against this, my thoughts on this, please do, because reading this book is just so beneficial. It helps defend yourself. It helps keep you away from predators out there. It does turn a lamb into a wolf, but the wolf doesn't have to choose to attack. The wolf can just be dangerous and be good at defending itself. It doesn't have to, eat away at other lambs. And that can be you. You can be the kind wolf, the kind monster. Jordan Peterson says, he says something like, be a monster, but don't actually, be a monster through your actions. Just be capable of being a monster, which is what this book helps you with. It turns you into somebody who doesn't have to be manipulative, but somebody who can be if they really need to, or who can see through it when other people come to you, because that is inevitable. People are going to try to manipulate you. Defend yourself and read the 48 Laws of Power. Please ignore all the thrashing and criticism that this book gets, because I don't think any of it is justified. Yeah, those are just my thoughts. Once again, if you disagree, please comment and tell me why. I would love to read it.